Good morning. So let's start. So what to do with section 16's questions? Section 16's questions are pending. Yes. So I'll tell you what to do with that. But we will start with utilization of ITC. Okay. Fresh day will start with fresh thing. Utilization of ITC. So where do we use ITC? We use ITC only and only to pay output tax. Okay. Not for anything else. Means we don't use it for interest, we don't use it for paying penalty, late fees, or anything else. We are using ITC only to claim, only to pay output tax. That's it. Okay. So section 49, subsection 5 of CGST Act. Section 49, subsection 5 of CGST Act, utilization of, just one second, please. Check now. Yes, utilization of ITC to pay output tax. Utilization of input tax credit to pay output tax. Where is the ITC right now? Right now, the ITC is in your e-credit ledger. Right now, the ITC is in your e-credit ledger. Now, take that ITC and use it to pay output tax. Okay. How to use it? Which all ITCs you can have? Means if you have done intrastate purchase, you will have ITC of CGST and SGST or UTGST as the case may be. If you have done interstate purchase, you will have ITC of IGST, isn't it? So you are having ITCs of IGST, or you are having ITC of CGST, or you are having ITC of SGST. Do you agree? SGST and UTGST I am putting on the same, what you can say, level. SGST, UTGST is one and the same. So you can have ITC of IGST, CGST, SGST. First and foremost, use the ITC of IGST. Which ITC will use first? IGST. Okay. And why it is used? Only and only to pay, yes, output tax. Okay. So first use ITC of IGST to pay output tax of IGST. IGST is like a guest. IGST is like actually something unwanted. So you will use that first. Why it is unwanted? Because government ultimately has to do distribution of IGST into CGST and SGST. So better to use ITC of IGST first. Okay, what I am saying you will understand when I tell you the whole perspective. So first use ITC of IGST to pay output tax of IGST, and there could be balance, and balance if any. If there is any balance of ITC of IGST, use it to pay output tax of CGST and SGST. How? In any order, and in any proportion, in any order and in any what? proportion. So exhaust, get done with ITC of IGST first. Exhaust ITC of IGST first, then and then only touch ITC of CGST. After completing with ITC of IGST, touch ITC of CGST, use ITC of CGST to pay output tax of CGST, and balance if any, and balance if any I'm not promising there would be balance, but balance if any to pay output tax of not SGST, IGST. Okay, there could be still output tax of IGST left. There can be all type of permutation combinations. Okay, what I am saying, you will probably not understand unless we solve 4 to 5 questions. Okay, now after that, you touch ITC of SGST, utilize it to pay output tax of SGST, and balance if any, to pay output tax of IGST. Never ever you can use ITC of CGST to pay SGST, and never you can use ITC of SGST to pay CGST. This is not possible. Okay, so let's give the numbering. Let's try and give the numbering. This is first. This is second. This is how we are going in the sequence. First, second, third, fourth, yeah. Okay, so this is the sequence of utilization. Follow these numbers. First, you will use ITC of IGST to pay output tax of IGST. Balance if any to pay CGST, SGST in any order and proportion. Then you will touch ITC of CGST, use it to pay output tax of CGST. Balance if any to pay output tax of IGST, and understand, this is not something that I have gone wrong in saying. This is exactly, both of these have third number. Means anyways ITC of C will be used to pay output tax of C, and ITC of S will be utilized to pay output tax of S, and balances if any will be utilized to pay output tax of IGST. But 4 is given here and 5 is given here. Means if you have balance in both C and S and you have I payable, then you will use out of the two which first? C. That's why 4 number is given here and 5th is given here. Okay, so hope you have taken this. If you have taken this, let's go to 4 to 5 questions and many questions. Now this opens opportunity of solving many questions of GST. See, go to question number 12 in the ITC topic. In the ITC topic, question number 12. Go to question number 12. Shall we check? See. All of you found it? What is the page number? With you it is 556. Okay. K, supplier of goods, pays GST under regular scheme. Regular scheme means section 9 has means not opted for section 10, pays tax under regular scheme. He has made following outward taxable supplies in the month of November. Intrastate supply of goods. So on intrastate supply of goods, what will be there? CGST and SGST. Interstate supply of goods, IGST. He has also furnished following information in respect of purchase. Okay. From purchase, he has intrastate purchase and he has interstate purchase. Correct? He has following ITCs with him for the month of, with him as on 1st November. What is this? Opening balances. See, if I cannot use ITC last month completely, then it will get carried forward to next month. So ITC which you cannot use in the month of October has been carried forward on 1st November. CGST is 70,000, SGST 60,000, IGST 45,000. Okay, assume rate of CGST, SGST, IGST to be 6 and 12. Inward and outward supply are exclusive of taxes and all conditions necessary for availing ITC have been fulfilled. Compute net GST payable by K for the month of November. Got it? So, what is net GST payable finally? Sorry? What is net GST payable eventually? So just for your understanding, I will not do this again in any other sum, but just in this sum, for your understanding, net GST payable is what? Net GST payable is output tax minus, yes, isn't it? Output tax minus input tax credit, because that supplier should have idea how much he has to deposit in e-cash ledger. You remember our yesterday's discussion? That output tax goes in which ledger? E-liability. ITC is in which ledger? E-credit. So this is available with him. But how much he has to deposit in e-cash? So net GST payable is the amount to be deposited in e-cash, isn't it? So don't you think supplier should have idea of how much to deposit in e-cash? So that idea he is going to get by your working. That idea he is going to get when you do this working of net GST payable, which is output tax minus input tax credit. So from where will you get output tax? You will get output tax from outward supply obviously. And where will you get input tax from? Where will you get input tax from? You will get input tax from inward supply. Yes, so you have been given information of all the things. Outward supply means sales, inward supply means purchase. You have been given information of all the things. Yes or no? So you have outward supply, you have inward supply. Not only inward supply, you have some opening balance also of ITC. So you will get this ITC available from inward supply for the month plus plus opening balance. So, shall we start our working? Can I find out first what is the total ITC for the month? How to find total ITC for the month? Computation of total ITC. You are going to help me. It is which month? Total ITC for month of November. Okay. For month of November. Okay. Particulars. IGST, CGST, SGST. All figures in rupees. Can you tell me what are the opening balances? How much? Be careful. A, opening balance. What is opening balance of IGST? For D, sure. Okay. CGST, SGST, 60,000. So I want to reach finally total ITC. So I will start with opening balance. Then I will go for inward supplies in the month. So what is intrastate supply? Sorry, intrastate supply means purchase. I am talking about purchase. Huh? Yes, see this 6 lakhs. So 6 lakh into what is the rate of GST? But right now it is intrastate, so I will take into 6% each. For intrastate I am talking about. So I will take 6% each and C on interstate supply. Supply means purchase. Huh? If you are getting confused, then better write purchase here. Intrastate purchases, interstate purchases. What are the interstate purchase? 2 lakhs. Okay. So interstate purchase is 2 lakh. So 2 lakh into the rate of GST. Rate of GST is 12%. So 2 lakh into 12%. Yes. So tell me the figures. Here the figure is 24,000 and on intrastate the figure is 36,000 each. Can you please take 36,000 each? So can you tell me what is your therefore total ITC for the month? What is your total ITC? 69,000 is of IGST. 1,06,000 is of CGST. SGST 96,000. Did you understand? Did you get it? 69,000, 1,06,000 and 96,000. This is your total ITC. Clear till this point? Now what to do? Computation of, so you have got ITC and you have to reach to net GST payable. So what you will do now? Output tax minus input tax credit. So now computation of what? Yes, computation of net GST payable. Please write down computation of net GST payable. There is no need to do separate working for output tax. You can complete that in this statement itself. Particulars CGST, or do you want IGST first? IGST, CGST, SGST. It figures in rupees. Figures in rupees. Okay. Start with A point, output tax. All well? Please start with output tax. Okay. First will be on intrastate purchase or intrastate sales. Can you tell me what are intrastate sales? So please be ready with your calci and do 14 lakhs into 6% each. Sorry, 84,000. Please write in correct columns CGST and SGST. CGST and SGST. Then comes on interstate sales. Yes. What is it on interstate sales? 10 lakh into 12%. 1 lakh 20,000. So 1 lakh 20,000. Did you get it? So can you tell me what is therefore total output tax? Total output tax is same. Therefore, total output tax. Total output tax is 1,20,000, 84,000, 84,000. Clear? Now what to do? Use your input tax. So which ITC you will use first? Which ITC you will use first? Yes. So less input tax credit. Less input tax credit you are using which ITC first? IGST. Understood. Try to get done with IGST first. When you try to get done with IGST first, it reduces burden of government. So what is the ITC of IGST? What is the ITC of IGST in total? 69,000. You will use that first to pay which tax? ITC of IGST is utilized to pay output tax of IGST. So please use it here, 69,000. There is no possibility of using for anything else because ITC of IGST will get exhausted while paying output tax of IGST. Observe na, 1 lakh 20 was ITC, output tax of IGST and ITC of IGST is only 69,000. If ITC of IGST was say 1 lakh 30,000, then 10,000 would have been balance and then we would have been able to use it for C and S. But there is no such possibility. ITC of IGST is getting exhausted while paying output tax of IGST. Now which will you touch? So ITC of CGST. What is ITC of CGST? Amount 1,06,000. First used to pay output tax of CGST. So 84,000 used for that. Please use 84,000 for that. Use 84,000 for that. And after that, tell me how much is the balance. Somehow this is not working properly. 84,000 you have used. What is the balance? 22,000. Okay, so please use 84,000. And now what I am saying, so ITC of CGST used to pay CGST 84, fine. Now next line, balance ITC of CGST used to pay IGST. Yes, you all said correctly, 22,000. How you got 22,000? 1,06,000 less 84,000. All of you got 22. Fine. Now at this point, can I take balance GST payable? Can I get balance GST payable? Huh? Please tell me of IGST. How much? Still 29 is payable. Sure. Still 29,000 is payable. But is any ITC remaining? SGST. Please use ITC of SGST. So less ITC of SGST. Please use ITC of SGST. What is ITC of SGST? 96,000. Please use 84 here. Please use 84,000 here. Okay. Balance ITC of SGST to pay what? To pay IGST. So what is balance? 96,000 minus 84,000, that is 12,000. So now can you tell me what is net GST payable? What is net GST payable? 17,000 with respect to IGST. So simple it is. Clear? Can we write notes? Done. Can we write notes? So write down notes. First note, as per section 49, subsection 5 of CGST Act, what we are doing is read with what analysis I have told you. It is with Rule 88A. So as per section 49(5) of CGST Act, read with Rule 88A of CGST rules. Read with Rule 88A of CGST rules. ITC of IGST shall be first utilized to pay output tax of, yes, to pay output tax of IGST, and balance if any to pay output tax of CGST and SGST in any order and in any what? In any order and in any proportion. First note. Second note. Tell me further what? Further, which ITC now after IGST? Very good. Further, ITC of CGST shall be utilized to pay output tax of, yes, to pay output tax of CGST, and balance if any to pay output tax of IGST. Clear? And what will be the last note? SGST. Right. Last note will be for SGST. Similarly, ITC of SGST shall be utilized to pay output tax of SGST, and balance if any to pay output tax of IGST. Clear, all of you? So we have used this second and third point here. So whenever I say write note of 49.5, it is this note. Because in future questions will not again and again write this note, but in exam, whenever you are using ITC to pay output tax, you have to write such note. Done, got it. My question is simple for you. What would be our effort to pay minimum in cash or maximum in cash? To pay minimum in cash. Very good. Means we will use ITC very efficiently. There will be decision making involved. Okay, you will see when decision making is involved now. Slowly, steadily. Is this sum clear? Any doubt in this sum? Eventually, your net GST payable was 17,000 of IGST. Clear? Sure, short question on this in the exam. They ask. That's why weightage of ITC is 10 marks. 49.5, 5 marks, and balance things which we discussed in 16. And today, what we are going to discuss, another 5 marks. So, by today's end, we would have completed about 30 marks of syllabus. Okay, let's see. But we have to still do a lot of things. Go to super sums, which I have given you. You have that small booklet of super sums. You will promise me that you will not see solutions. Just focus on the question. Question number 13. I think we have already solved few questions from this. Of valuation we have solved that day. One of the question answer was 13,11,000. And another question. These were two questions we have already solved. Go to 13th question. What is your promise to me? Not to check solutions. Apply your mind. Mr. Ajay, registered supplier of goods, pays GST under regular scheme and provides following information for the month of August. You have got interstate taxable supply of goods, intrastate taxable supply of goods, intrastate purchase of taxable goods, and he has the following ITC at the beginning of the August. There is ITC of CGST, SGST and IGST. Rates of CGST, SGST, IGST are 9, 9 and 18%. Both inward and outward supply are exclusive of taxes. If not given, you will assume that. All the conditions necessary for availing ITC have been fulfilled. You have to compute, underline, net GST payable. It was asked for 6 marks in May 2018. So 6 marks question. Can we try it together? Chalo. So how to understand net GST payable we have to calculate. So it is going to be output tax minus input tax credit. But ITC you have opening balance also and you have purchase also. So we will have to find out overall ITC for the month. So go ahead and write down question number 13, super sums. Question number 13, super sums. Write down computation of input tax credit for the month of dash. Which month? August. Computation of input tax credit for the month of August. So we'll have to find out ITC first because there is opening balance also. Computation of ITC for month of August. Okay. Particulars IGST, CGST and SGST. Please help me with opening balances. What are the opening balances? A point. Yes, friends. IGST is 5,000. CGST 20,000. And SGST 30,000. 5,000, 20,000 and 30,000 are your opening balances. B point, add on, is it you have intrastate purchase or interstate purchase? So what are your intrastate purchases? Yes, 5 lakh. 5 lakh into the rate of GST, 9% each. Do 5 lakh into 9% each. 45,000. Oh, sorry. 45,000 CGST, 45,000 SGST. You have told me correctly, na? The opening balance is 5, 20, 30. 5, 20, 30, right? Yes. So tell me what is therefore total ITC. Yes, what is the total ITC? 5,000, 65,000 and 75,000. Easy marks, okay? If you understand it, it is easy. How was your test of place of supply? Those who attended, very less students attended because many of you are absent on POS. Okay, so no problem. Afterwards, you cover the topic and attend. That is the advantage of recording. Fine. Now, please tell me what we should do. Computation of net GST payable. So, please tell me how to start. Particulars CGST. You want IGST first? Okay. Particulars IGST, CGST, SGST. Computation of net GST payable. Computation of net GST payable. Particulars IGST, CGST, SGST. Never forget figures in rupees. Please tell me what are the intrastate sales? Huh? 2 lakhs. So A point, output tax. While doing output tax on intrastate supply, two lakhs into 9% each. Are you getting how much? 18,000 each of CGST and SGST. Then on interstate outward supply, what is interstate outward supply? So friends, 10 lakh into 18%. 1 lakh 80,000 of what? IGST. So can you take total? 1 lakh 80,000, 18,000, 18,000. Now what starts? Utilization starts. So have you all reached till 1 lakh 80,000, 18,000 and 18,000? Sure. Fine. So go ahead. Less ITC. So less ITC of IGST. What is the ITC of IGST? 5,000. I think 5,000 will get utilized immediately. Less ITC of IGST to pay IGST. 5,000. Use it completely. No opportunity. No opportunity for using for C and S GST. After this, what is the balance GST payable? 1,75,000, 18,000 and 18,000. Now which GST to touch? So what is the ITC of CGST? How much? 65. So ITC of CGST used to pay CGST. First used to pay CGST. Full 18,000. You cannot use to pay SGST, and right now you are not showing anything for paying IGST. You will show it now. Fine. Can you tell me now? Less ITC of again CGST to pay IGST. How much is balance? 47. Please tell me how you got 47,000. 65,000 minus 18,000. 65,000 minus 18,000. 47,000. After this, tell me balance GST payable. How much? 1 lakh? 1 lakh 28,000, 0 and 18,000. Less ITC of SGST. What is the ITC of SGST? Lot of ITC web. 75,000. Use 18,000 here. Now friends, what to do? What is the balance? 57. Use ITC, of course, balance of SGST to pay IGST. So you told me balance is how much? 57,000. Please tell me how you had got 57,000. 75,000 minus 18,000. So finally tell me what is therefore net GST payable? 70 of IGST. Then of course I am not repeating, but note will come up of section 49(5) of CGST Act read with rule. Agreed. Will you be able to tackle such issues? But still I'm not happy because I'm still using that balance of ITC of C and S to pay output tax of I. I should still cover more sums, more permutation combinations. So we'll go forward and do that. And then afterwards I should tell you logic that why government must have set 49.5 in this way, why not in any other way. And ultimately, what is the uh, ultimately we have to go towards understanding that diagram. A sells goods to B, B to C, C to D. Ultimately, where is D? In which state D is? That state should get 50% GST and central government should get 50% GST because we follow dual model. So I told you that day by day that diagram itself is going to get clear. So today is the day when that diagram will get further clear to you. That table, that chain, typical chain will get further clear for you. So go to super sums. How did you get 71 and how did they get 51? Oh, so mistake by them. ठीक है, okay. हाँ, so correct it. What has to be corrected? Correct question or solution. Something you'll have to correct. So better correct question. ठीक है. Correct the question. Fine. Friends, simple and sweet question. 14th. But we'll tell you a lot of things. 14th question. See the 14th question. From following information, compute net GST payable for the month of March. Okay, now see this question. There is an output tax of CGST of 2000, but amount in opening ITC as per e-credit is nil. In short, this all are ITCs of CGST, SGST and IGST respectively, and these are all output tax. Okay, so let's present it, okay, and do it. So question number is 14. Okay, give the heading. We will not leave our format. Our format we will not leave. Computation of. Now directly I can do net GST payable because I don't have to find out any ITC balance. Already ITC is given. There seems to be no purchases in the month. So directly I have to use the opening ITCs. Got it now? So what statement we are doing? Directly we are doing computation of net GST payable. For which month? Is any month given? For month of March. Is any year given? Let it be there. Particulars. IGST, CGST and SGST. Figures in rupees. Tell me what are the output taxes? A point output tax. Copy paste. Tell me what is the output tax. See the sum. You have the sum. 24,000, 24,000, 2,000 and 15. 24, 2 and 15. 24, 2 and 15. All of you 24, 2 and 15. B point less ITC of which ITC I am using first. What is the ITC of IGST? 37,000. ITC of IGST to pay IGST. Friends, how much you have? You have huge 37. So for a change, there will be balance remaining. Now can you tell me after using this, what is balance GST payable? Balance GST payable will be nil 2000 and 15,000. Agreed, na? Someone said 13,000, right? 13,000 is the balance of ITC of IGST. Very important step now I am going on to. Have you all done till this point? Sure, done till this point? Now, most important step, you don't have to blindly use ITC of IGST. What are your output taxes of C and S? Now CGST's output tax is 2000. Okay, SGST's output tax is 15,000. So SGST's output tax is very high as compared to CGST, and SGST's ITC is 1000. In short, I know mentally that I am going to lack here 14,000 rupees. Here I am going to lack 14,000 rupees, and here I am going to lack 2,000 rupees. And what is the balance of ITC of IGST? 13,000. Okay, so of course I will not do equally. There is no need to use equally. I cannot use equally. Okay, I will use only 2000 to pay CGST and balance I will use to pay SGST. Because see, ITC of IGST shall be utilized first to pay output tax of IGST. Balance, if any, to pay CGST and SGST. Yes, say it loudly, in any order or any proportion. So let me use it the way I like it. So let me use it most logically, in any order and any proportion. So let me use 2000 for this and balance for this. So what am I doing now? I am now doing less balance ITC of IGST to pay SGST. I can use to pay CGST and SGST in any order and in any proportion. So can I show SGST first? Any order, any proportion, as I wish. You want to show CGST first? No problem. Show CGST. How much you are going to use for CGST? 2000. Clear all of you? After this, how much is pending? Now after this, if I get balance GST payable, what is the balance GST payable? 0 for IGST, 0 for CGST, 15,000 is SGST. Do you agree? What is the remaining amount? So balance of IGST used to pay, agreed, used to pay SGST. How much is the balance? 11,000. Use it please. Now tell me what is net GST payable? Which GST is that? Did you understand? Understood? ITC of? Oh, SGST is there. Who will use that? Acha. So how much is that? Use that, na then. Then this will become balance GST payable. This will not become final answers then. This will become, this will remain balance GST payable and less ITC of SGST. What is ITC of SGST? 1000. No problem. Use that. Good. That means you are attentive. It is proved that you are attentive. Therefore, now can I get net GST payable? 3000. Did you get it? Understood? After this, of course, note as per section 49(5) of CGST Act, read with rule 88A of CGST rules, ITC of IGST is first used to pay output tax of IGST and balance ITC of IGST of rupees. How much was balance? No, first, in first instance balance was 13. Yes, and balance ITC of IGST of rupees 13,000 is used to pay entire output tax of CGST of rupees 2000 and balance rupees 11,000 to pay output tax of SGST. Clear? Afterwards you should not get confused. That's why I have written this note. In bracket as balance of ITC of IGST could have been used in, can be used in any order or any proportion. See, any other assumption you do now is correct. Any other assumption that you do is also correct. Means can some student get some other answer? Yes. Acha, could you have used equally 6,500, 6,500? You could have used equally. But then you will have to pay more in cash and you will carry forward extra. So it's like having money but still taking loan. So you should do, it's not technically wrong, but it is not rationally correct. There is difference. Getting it? Can government come and penalize you for that? No. But it is incorrect way of using. It is inefficient way of using. It is inefficient way of using. If you have used in equal or something else. In this case. Fine. Next. You can't do the next one. For doing the next one, you will need knowledge of blocked credits. You can't do next 16th also. You will need knowledge of blocked credits. I think you can do 18th. Chalo, try 18th. We can try 18th. 18th asks for 8 marks in the mock test paper of May 2020. Okay. 18th asks for 8 marks in the mock test paper. Let's read it. Let's do it together. Mr. Charlie, registered supplier of goods at Bhatinda. Bhatinda means in Punjab. Pays GST under regular scheme, has made following transactions exclusive of tax. Okay, what is this? Source, purchases, sales, tax rate. Okay, source, you are purchasing from Rajasthan means what? Huh? Inter. Next. So even if you did not know that Bhatinda is in Punjab, still there was no problem because tax rate given is 18. And in next, when you are doing from Punjab, tax rate given is 9% each. So you would have understood that this is intra. Clear? So you did not worry that my geography should be strong for understanding intra or inter. No need. They will somehow give you the hint. So hint is clear. Okay. Then ITC is given. Opening ITC of CGST, SGST and IGST. What makes it 8 marks question? You will understand as we go ahead that why it is 8 marks question. See. And what is the question asked? Read the question asked. Compute minimum net CGST, SGST, IGST payable by Charlie in cash. Minimum. Now any other answer than minimum is incorrect according to institute, not according to GST law. According to institute, you have to compute minimum. Of course, client will also say compute minimum payable in cash. Why will client accept your nonsense? Then client will actually not be happy if you ask him to pay more in cash and preserve ITC balance. What client cannot take ITC balance and do any shopping. So what is more liquid? ITC or cash? Cash. So he should preserve the cash and use maximum ITC. Logical, na? Otherwise, opportunity loss. ITC lying in government will not give you any interest, but cash lying in bank will give interest. So pay minimum in cash, logically. So, question 18. Question 18. In question 18, super sums, computation of, you don't have ITC, no, ready-made ITC you don't have. So, computation of input tax credit for the month of, can you tell me which month? For the month of April. Which April? Not given. Fine. Particulars, IGST, CGST and SGST, figures in rupees. Start with A point, opening balances. Use scale, pencil, calculator. Afterwards, you should feel like opening your own notebook. A point, opening balance. Can you please tell me what is the opening balance? What are the opening balances? Acha, IGST is 1 lakh, 1 lakh 50,000, 30,000. 1 lakh 50,000 and 30,000. Is it correct? 1 lakh 50,000 and 30,000 opening balances. B point, add on intrastate purchases. What are the intrastate purchases? Yes, friends. What are the purchases within Punjab? Yes, 2,50,000. So can I do 2,50,000 into, please calculate, 2,50,000 into 9% each, 22,500 of CGST, 22,500 of SGST. Now, can you tell me what is on interstate purchases? Interstate purchases means from Rajasthan. 5 lakh into 18%. So I think 90,000. So can you tell me what is therefore total ITC? Is your total ITC 1,90,000? 1,90,000 and 77,500 and 72,000 and 52,500. Good to make mistakes in between, just it shows that you are paying attention. 1,90,000, 72,500 and 52,500. Have you all reached till this point? Can I go ahead and check your net GST payable? Sure, done till this point. So write down net GST payable. Computation of net GST payable. So tell me Of course, it is for April. Particulars CGST. Sorry, first I have to take. Means just you can take in any format. But we are taking IGST, CGST, and SGST. All figures in rupees. Make format using scale pencil. Okay. Start with A point. Output tax. Please start with A point, output tax. Can you tell me which is the first sale that you want to show? Okay, intrastate. So what are your intrastate supply or intrastate sales? Yes, let's check. Intra means within Punjab. So it is of 8 lakh. So 8 lakh into, yes. So please do 8 lakh into 9% each. 72,000 each. B point, not B, inter. Please tell me interstate supplies amount. So interstate supply is 10 lakhs. So 10 lakhs into 18%. So 10 lakh into 18% is 1,80,000. Here you will get total output tax 1,80,000, 72,000, 72,000. Have you all got till this point? Now friends, please tell me what is your ITC of IGST? All of you just pay attention for a moment. Pay attention for a moment. Can I quickly do some? You can do it anywhere. I have this space, so I am doing it here. Rough working or some analysis. You can do it anywhere. Or if you understand, you may not do also. Okay. If I think about my output tax and my ITC, my ITC of IGST, CGST and SGST, what it is? 1,90,000, 72,500 and 52,500. Agreed? Because there is huge possibility that if you don't do this analysis, you will mess up. What is your output tax? 180, 72 and 72. 180, 72 and 72. Do you agree? Now friends, you have comfortable balance of what? Which comfortable ITC you have? Very good. IGST and CGST. It's comfortable. It will cover your output tax comfortably. First, you will use ITC of IGST to pay output tax of IGST. After that, also there is a balance of 10,000. Point is, how will you use that 10,000? You could have used equally, you could have used in any order, any proportion, but I would not like to haphazardly use it. I will like to analyze and use. So you said there is a comfortable ITC of CGST also, because 72,500 can cover 72,000. So there is no need to use ITC of IGST to pay output tax of CGST. So directly can remaining ITC of IGST be utilized to pay output tax of SGST? So that I can pay minimum in cash. That's why this is 8 marks question. Because if you don't do this analysis, you will end up paying more tax. So now how will you do it? Now how will you do it? So less ITC of IGST used to pay, yes, used to pay IGST. How much? 1,80,000. Okay, friends, now less ITC of IGST in balance used to pay, yes, friends, used to pay SGST. Used to pay SGST. Why SGST? Will write a note for that. So how much? 10,000. 10,000. Now tell me what are the balance GST payable. Balance GST payable IGST 0, 72,000 and 62,000. Only when you keep this in mind, the sequence, then only you will get correct answers. Otherwise, you will mess up. Now what you are using? Yes, less ITC of CGST. Tell me what is ITC of CGST? 72,500. So comfortable. Useful 72,000. Useful 72,000. Now what is balance GST payable? 0, 0 and 62,000. Do I know what is less ITC of SGST? 500 balance of ITC, na? So that will be carried forward. It cannot be set off against SGST. That will be carried forward. For that, we'll have to write a note. That's why I said you have to go in that order only. Agreed. 500 is balance ITC. But can we do anything with that? ITC of C cannot be used to pay S. ITC of S cannot be used to pay C. Otherwise, so then why have we bifurcated GSTs? You have bifurcated because you don't want them to be used. C cannot be used against S. S cannot be used against C. Tell me what is ITC of SGST? How much? 52,500. Use it. Now tell me what is therefore finally net GST payable. 9,500 for SGST. Are you getting it? 9,500 for SGST. And I agree with you that balance of ITC of CGST is there to the extent of 500, which will be carried forward. That will become next month's opening. So friends, how much? You said 9,500, and here you will say balance ITC to be carried forward. So I think this is happening for the first time in our sums, that there is some balance of ITC which will be carried forward. But no problem. Such things can happen. There is no use for that ITC of CGST. Is it clear? And did you understand why it is for 8 marks? Because some of you might have used ITC of C to pay S, but which is not allowed. Some of you might have used balance of ITC of IGST to pay C and S equally. That then would have not given you minimum payable in cash. Right now, this is the most efficient answer because we did this analysis. Clear? See, 9,500 is payable of SGST, 500 is net ITC to be carried forward. So write down note. What you have done for that, we are writing the note now. Chalo. Write down notes. Okay. Section 49(5) of CGST Act. Read with rule. Read with rule 88A of CGST rules states that ITC of IGST shall be utilized to pay output tax of IGST and balance, if any, to pay CGST and SGST in any order and what? In any order and any proportion. Okay, full stop. Continue. Therefore, in given case, balance of ITC of IGST, therefore, in given case, balance of ITC of IGST of rupees 10,000 is used completely to pay output tax of what? SGST as ITC of CGST was sufficient to pay entire output tax of CGST. Got it? Thus, we have got minimum GST payable in what? Thus, we have got minimum GST payable in cash. Did you understand? Thus, we have got minimum GST payable in cash. Understood? One more note you can write. ITC of SGST, nahi, C na? ITC of CGST cannot be utilized, to pay output tax of, cannot be utilized to pay output tax of what? SGST. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Are you confident about solving this in the exam? Nice. If yes, then see the next question. See this question of Paritosh, 21st. Yes. Not allowed because sequence. The unwanted guest has to be thrown out first. It is for government's convenience. And you will understand this before this session ends. That why it is that way. Government will look at their own convenience and government wants you to exhaust your ITC of IGST first. Maybe that is at a loss for you. Loss means not ultimate loss, but 500 you are carry forwarding and that much 500 you are paying extra in cash. But that is okay. Government is saying, but we want you to use exhaust ITC of IGST first. Okay. When you there is one section 53. What is the title of 53? Transfer of credits. So once you use your ITC, government does some background work at their end. So that background work should be easy. That's why you are told to use ITC of IGST first. What is that? I will explain you that background work. But for that reason, you cannot do that. 21st question. Paritosh. It is a C. Friends. Same concept, different figures asked in mock test papers for 8 marks. In which mock test papers? November 21, October 20, October 18, April 21, May 22, and RTP of November 21. So important question. And it is also in study material. Getting it, such important question is this. So let's solve it if it is so important. Paritosh and company, a supplier of goods, pays GST under regular scheme. It has made following outward taxable supplies in a tax period. Intrastate supply is 10 lakh. Interstate supply is 8 lakh. No Bhatinda, Punjab, Rajasthan. Directly given. This is your intrastate supply. This is your interstate supply. It has also furnished following information in respect of purchases. Intrastate purchase and interstate purchase. And then ITCs are given. Can we solve it? Compute what? Minimum GST payable in cash for the tax period and ITC to be carried forward to the next month and make suitable assumptions as required. Start doing it. In the way in which we do, start doing it. I'll just have water and come start doing it. Nice sincerity. All of you are solving. Now help me also solve it. Question number is 21. Computation of input tax credit for the month of which month? Not given. Okay. Particulars IGST, CGST, SGST figures in rupees. It will start with A point, opening balance. So what is the opening balance? Opening balance, if you can see, is 1,40,000, 57,000, 60,000. 1,40,000, 57,000 and 60,000. All of you must have got. Then after opening, add ITC on intrastate purchases. So what did you get? On intrastate purchase, what's your intrastate purchase? Your intrastate purchases are 3 lakhs. So 3 lakh into 9% each. 50, 27,000 each. Okay. And then C point on interstate purchase. What is your interstate purchase? Sorry, 2 lakh. So 2 lakh 50,000 into 18%. What is that? 45,000. So all of you must have got ITC balance as 1,85,000. Then 84,000 and 87,000. How many of you got this correct? All of you got. Very good. This is ITC balance. Now what? Computation of net GST payable for the month of so and so. Particulars IGST, CGST, SGST figures in rupees. Please tell me what are your what are your output taxes? How will you start with your output tax? Yes, intra-state supply. Can you tell me what is the amount of intra-state supply? Sorry, 10 lakhs. So 10 lakh into 10 lakh into 9% each. So how much you are getting? 90,000, 90,000. Then on interstate supply. So what is your interstate supply? Interstate supply is 8 lakh. 8 lakh into, yes. So what is 8 lakh into 18%? 1 lakh 44,000. Are you all getting 1 lakh 44,000? So have you all got output tax as 1 lakh 44,000 of IGST, 90,000 of CGST and 90,000 of SGST? How many of you have got these figures correct? Very good. Now what next? Yes. But did you do some analysis? What analysis have you done? 84, 87 is your ITCs, ITCs 90, 90. Oh, do the analysis. You can do at any point, huh? Any part of notebook you can do the analysis. I have space here, so I am doing here analysis or rough working just for my understanding. CGST, SGST, IGST, output tax and input tax. So 84, 87, sorry, output is 90, 90, 144, 90, 90, 144. But ITCs are 84, 87 and 185. So I think I'm comfortable now. I'm very comfortable. I have extra of how much? I have 41,000 extra. And here payable is, here 6,000 and here 3,000. So I think anyway if I use, still I will be able to cover. Correct, na? There is a lot of extra balance I have. So I can use in any order and any proportion. Literally way you like it, you can use it. If I want, I can use it equally also. But remember, you all may use differently also. Whatever answers you get will be ultimately correct only. So there is no problem in this case because there is no deficiency. So how will you do it? Less ITC of IGST. What is the ITC of IGST? It's very comfortable. You can use to pay output tax of IGST. After that, payable will be nil, 90 and 90. But what is the, friends, what is the ITC of IGST in balance after this? 41,000. Remember, you have to exhaust that. Come what may, you have to exhaust. So less ITC of IGST in balance used, I want to use equally. Anyone can use in any proportion. If you have used in any other proportion, continue with that. I don't mind. I absolutely don't mind. So I am using equally as 20,500, 20,500. Anyone has used in any other proportion? Absolutely no problem. That is also correct answer. Don't change your answer. What you have done is correct. I will tell you how to evaluate your answer finally. Eventually, what you are carry forwarding should be same. Now, whether you carry forward balance of CGST or whether you carry forward balance of SGST, doesn't matter. But you have to exhaust what? IGST. Chalo, so you have used it this way, 20,500 each. So what do we do now? Can you tell me balances payable? Balance GST payable, nil, 61,500. Sure, na? Sorry, 69,500 and 69,500. Do you agree? Less ITC of CGST. What is ITC of CGST? What is ITC of CGST? 84,000. But I have to use only 69,500 and less ITC of SGST. You have comfortable ITC of SGST. So 69,500 you can use. Now tell me friends, what is therefore net GST payable? Congratulations, net GST payable is everywhere 0. But what is the ITC to be carried forward? That is the main thing here. ITC to be carried forward. Calculate. For IGST, of course, 0. For CGST, you had ITC of 84, out of which you have used 69,500. How much you can carry forward? 14,500. And how much can you carry forward of SGST? Huh? 17,500. How have you calculated? Okay. Just one thing I would like to tell you. Assumed ITC of IGST in balance, assumed ITC of IGST in balance is used equally to pay output tax of CGST and SGST. It could have been used in any other proportion. Okay, so that's your note. And of course, other note will be of 49.5. Read with rule 88A. Clear? So tell me, one thing you tell me, take on your calci 14,500 plus 17,500. Anyways, your ITC to be carried forward is 32,000. If that is 32,000, your answer is correct. If you have used remaining ITC of IGST in some different proportion, still overall ITC to be carried forward would be same 32,000. If that is same, give yourself correct. So how many of you got correct answer? Absolutely correct answer. What mistake you did? Those who are not raising the hand. Will you like to tell me, any one of you? What mistake? No problem. Then not correct. See, then you are not using well, no? Then you are paying something in cash. You must be paying something in cash. Then it is not correct. Because then you will tell your client, pay 3,000 in cash, right? How much? Pay 3,000 in cash and I will carry forward so much. Your client will slap you. Isn't it? Why you are asking your client to pay when you have ITC balance? So your answer is not wrong, but your answer is inefficient. What was the question asked? Yes, pay minimum in cash. Will you like this advice to be given by your CA that spent 3,000 in cash and when you have balance in ITC? No, no. Then why you are giving that advice? So what is the point to be remembered? Balance of ITC can be used in any order and say, don't just say with me. Use that. Any order and any proportion. Did I say use for CGST first or HGST first? No. What did I say? Any order and any proportion. Institute might have got some different answer, but total is 32,000. See, Institute might have got some different answer, but ITC balance to be carried forward is in total 32,000. That's what matters. Clear? Friends, look at me and tell me, is it clear now? This section, boys, is it clear? Okay. All possible questions we have done, but now comes the time to tell you logic. Okay, of why we are doing this. See, if you understand the logic, then it will be best. So if I go to our provisions book and you just observe what I am saying, do you remember our transaction? Typical chain. I will like to revisit the typical chain. If all of you are attentive on this, first get out of the last question. I don't want you to have any confusion in the last question now. If any doubt, raise your hand, ask it and complete the issue. Because I want your total attention to the next point that I am explaining you. So are you all done with the earlier question? Friends, can I expect a yes from you? Okay. Fine. So go to typical chain. You have started throwing the things. Fine, you are going to get the break. I know it is 11 o'clock. 11:11. I know. You will get the break, but only after this concept. Until the time something hits me. Okay. So see then. If that is the extent, then A was selling goods to B, B was selling goods to C, C was selling goods to D. Typical chain. In this typical chain, day 1, today is day 5. See how we have gone ahead in typical chain. We started with typical chain with zero understanding, and now we have reached a stage where I can explain you that how D's state should get the half GST and how central government should get half. In day 1, we had not assumed A, B, C, D are in which states. Today I want you to tell me A, B, C, D are in which states. Accordingly we'll work out. Tell me, A is in which state? But one condition is that at least keep one intrastate transaction and one interstate. So you'll understand in a better way what happens. Chalo, keep A in which one of the state? Huh? Where you want A? ठीक है कर्नाटका. Where you want B? ठीक है कर्नाटका. Where you want C? Where you want D? Delhi. Fine, Delhi. Suppose this is the flow of the transaction. The goods were manufactured in Karnataka. Logical. They went to wholesaler in Karnataka. They went to retailer in So they are moving northwards. They went to retailer in Maharashtra and they are sold finally to end consumer in Delhi. Agreed? Please tell me its prices. Its prices as taken on day one. This was 30,000. This was 40,000 and this was 45,000. And everywhere GST was 18%. So 5,400, 7,200 and 8,100. End result you know. Which state should get? Half should go to central government, half should go to Union Territory of Delhi. Don't get emotional. Nothing will go to Karnataka. Nothing will go to Maharashtra. Everything will go to Delhi. Why so? End consumer is sitting in Delhi. But how this system has been framed that everything goes to Delhi government, means 50% goes to Delhi, 50% goes to center. How this whole system is designed, that we are going to check. Who were supposed to pay taxes to government? A, B and C, because they are suppliers. But burden was on D, end consumer. Clear? Now friends, see, in this case which tax is charged? CGST, SGST. In this case, IGST. In this case, IGST. See now, intrastate. First is intrastate. Second is interstate. Third is interstate. Supply involves movement of goods. You are in a position to understand. From Karnataka, goods went to Maharashtra. From Maharashtra, goods went to Delhi. Supply involves movement of goods. So place of supply is the location of the goods where they terminate for their delivery. Getting it? So see, day 1 understanding and day 5 understanding, everything is within provisions. Nothing goes out of provisions and logic. Now see, tell me in books of A, B and C. I don't want accounting entries. I want how it happened in books of A, B and C. Suppose I talk about A. For A, what was the output tax? For A, what was the output tax? Total 5,400. But breakup of CGST, SGST, 2,700 each. But A did not have any ITC. So ITC for him is 0. So how much he paid net in cash? Net payable in cash. Net GST paid is 2,700. Agreed? Now comes B. For B, which is the output tax? 7,200. Which? IGST. So can I write for B only IGST? How has B paid IGST? What was his output tax of IGST? 7,200 was his output tax. Now you have learnt B had ITC of CGST and SGST to the extent of 2,700 each, but he did not have output tax of C and S. So remaining he can use to pay I. So can I use like this? Less ITC of CGST and less ITC of SGST. How much? 2,700 each. So what is net GST payable? Which GST is it? IGST. So what is net IGST payable? 1,800. And that's what we had discussed on day 1, but not with so clarity because it was day 1. Okay, we had just did output tax minus input tax. Now we are telling you which output tax, which input tax, and legally, because this was done using 49.5. Clear? And now, last what happened, friends? C. Our C. What our C did? What is C's IGST payable? That is output tax 8,100. What is ITC? ITC of what? ITC of IGST. How much? 7,200. So what is net GST payable? Sorry? 900. Net GST payable is 900. Which GST is that? IGST. Very good. This is happening as per 49.5. Tell me 49.5, who will follow? Supplier. When supplier does one thing at his end, government does something at their end. What government does at their end is called as transfer of credits. Now I am going to open government's account. Now I am going to open what? Government accounts involved in this transaction. Can you tell me which government accounts are involved in this transaction? CGST. Government accounts involved are CGST, agreed, SGST, agreed, and IGST. And friends, you can take 6 people in the chain and open many accounts. Still this will tally. And still this will happen in this way only. Okay. CGST, which states SGST? Karnataka. Agreed? What is the first transaction that happened? First transaction happened between A and B. When transaction happened between A and B, how much did A paid in cash? A paid in cash how much? A paid in cash? Tell me amount wise, na? Account wise. CGST of how much? 2,700. SGST of 2,700. Friends, pay attention. Pay attention. If B was end consumer, very important point. If B was end consumer, the end 50% would have gone to CGST, 50% would have gone to SGST of Karnataka, because B is where? Karnataka. The end. Happy. But B is not end consumer. B is not end consumer. B sold to C. That's why government's headache. B sold to C. That's why government's headache. How much B paid in cash? Friends, how much B paid in cash? 1,800. Which GST? IGST. But, where is C? Maharashtra. B paid in cash 1,800, but he used ITC of CGST and SGST to pay IGST. So how much ITC used? Can you tell me? Most important step, huh? Most important step. He used ITC of CGST. To what extent? So friends, what will government do? Government will pick up this 2,700 and put it here. This is called as transfer of credit. In short, when he used ITC of CGST to pay which tax? IGST. So government reduced from their CGST and government transferred it to their IGST. And also he used what? Also he used ITC of SGST to pay what? Huh? Yes, to pay IGST. So what government would have done? Picked up 2,700 from SGST and transferred to huh? And transferred to IGST. So friends, at this juncture there is 0, 0. Unfortunately, Karnataka government get 0 because consumption is not happening in Karnataka. Right now, how much is lying in total in IGST account? 7,200. Right now, where is C sitting? Maharashtra. C is sitting in Maharashtra. If C was end consumer, it is government's headache to give 50% of this to center and 50% to Maharashtra state government. Whose headache? Government's headache. Dual model has to be followed. Now, but that is not the end. That is not the end because C sold to D. When C sold to D, what happened? How much C paid in cash? C paid in cash 900. But C utilized ITC of IGST to pay output tax of IGST. C used ITC of IGST to pay output tax of IGST. So what will happen, you know? Nothing substantial will happen. Minus 7,200 plus 7,200. Nothing will happen. So how much is total GST collected by government? 7,200 plus 900, 8,000. This 8,100 will be divided between CGST and SGST. CGST, how much? 4,050. And SGST of which government? Delhi, 4050. Who will do this? Government. Where is D? Delhi. That's why 50% goes to Delhi government. Got it? So government is after you to use which ITC first? Government is after you to use which ITC first? I repeat my question. Please try to focus. Government is after you to use which ITC first? ITC of IGST. Because minimum the balance in IGST, less is the headache for government for doing this distribution. So they say what? Use first IGST to the extent possible. So we don't have to do the unnecessary distribution of the remaining balance. We want least possible balance in our IGST account. Did you understand? Friends, did you understand? You are not looking happy in spite of understanding such a big thing. That when I do utilization with me, government does transfer of credits. So what is this called as? This is called as transfer of credits. Okay. So hope so you have understood topic of uh, utilization of ITC to pay output tax and what government does. When you use ITC, government does transfer of credits, and this way eventually 50% goes to CG and 50% to that government where the ultimate consumer is, where the end place of supplies. Because whole GST depends on two things, dual model and yes, dual model and destination based, consumption based, indirect tax. So what matters? Where is the end consumer? So that government gets half and half goes to center, and there is a taxation done at each stage. So it did not happen that only C taxed D, A taxed B, B taxed C, and eventually C taxed D. The burden was passed on, passed on, passed on. It burden reached to D, but taxes were paid by each one of them. But A, B, and C got benefit of ITC because A, B, and C were not purchasing that mobile for self consumption, but they were purchasing for selling to the further buyer. Getting it? So I hope you got more clarity on the chain. Okay, chalo. So now take a break. After break, we can do some more questions on payment. Now, what in payment we will do? We will try to calculate value and then try to calculate GST payable. Means we will only calculate the value and we will calculate GST payable, and then afterwards we will do something called as blocked credits. What is blocked credits? Block credits means some purchases of which I cannot take ITC, even if used for business. So when we do blocked credit, we will get knowledge of how much ITC we can take. Now see, we now have knowledge of how to find value. So automatically we can find out output tax. Then we will learn, we have already learned how to claim ITC. We will learn on what things ITC is blocked. So at one end we will have output tax, at other end we will have ITC, and then we can use ITC to pay output tax, and such combined questions are asked in the exam for 88 marks or up to 10 marks. Not even inter level, also at final level. You only have to find out assessable value, you only have to find out output tax, you only have to find out ITC available, and you only have to use ITC to pay output tax. So these lengthy questions we will be able to solve by end of today because we would have done blocked credits. Okay. So when I am saying that weightage of valuation is 5 marks, you may not get directly 5 marks valuation question. It can be valuation question within this big question. Okay, when I am saying that ITC's weightage is 10 marks, it may not happen that you will get a dedicated question on ITC. It can be a question which is of valuation plus ITC. Okay, so I will take you through that in the next session. That's it. Thank you.